Good morning and welcome to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 99. We have some football updates between the NFL and college football. We have our great session of trivia coming back with Lisa. We have NBA playoff updates with our correspondent from Cover 2 Cook. And then NHL playoff updates because the real sport matters with the playoff update correspondent, Mr. Cook. But before we get going, let's have a great day. Episode 99. We're going to 100, so let's get it started.
Yeah. I was going to do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Socks.
Travel been to Indiana, and did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm getting Mardi Gras.
I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes.
Eh.
All right.
This is going to be a long fucking day.
All right. Thank you so much for joining episode 99. We got some NFL updates to start us off right off the bat. George Pickens has been traded to the Cowboys. What do you think this is for Jerry Jones?
I think this is another circus clown show, and the Ringling Barlin Bailey ringmaster Jerry Jones loves it. I don't know. I think this is great for Dallas. I think it gives them a number 2 receiver. Let's see how long this keeps George Pickens happy.
Yep.
Because if he doesn't get the ball, as you well know, Pittsburgh fans, you know what he starts to do. He starts pitching. And that is it's a big thing for him. That's his MO. And is it for Pittsburgh? And on the Pittsburgh side, is this trade knowing that where he could land eventually, as far as they'll get rid of him as soon as he's about ready to do something.
Oh, no.
We got rid of Antonio Brown, Martavius Bryant, a lot of head cases, and they're just let's get rid of them. Let's get rid of them.
I actually think this is good for the Dallas Cowboys. I think you'll see a whole different George Pickens because I think the person to blame for why some of these players act out the way they do is Mike Tomlin. I think he allows bullshit to happen as long as you're winning. Well, guess what? When you're in Dallas, every little thing you do, whether that's how you crosswalk, you don't go through the crosswalk right, you don't eat the right food, you will be told about, okay? You can't play that bullshit in Dallas. And I'll tell you right now, Jerry Jones is the only owner, if not only owner, that will make sure that he's on a talk radio every week. So you don't think he's ready to talk about your ass if you don't play? I think we'll see a whole different George Pickens. What I don't understand is why trade for draft picks when the draft was 3 weeks ago? So, I get it, right? You're building for next year's draft? Which could be a good draft. You don't know. I just didn't understand why you wouldn't go get these draft picks for something that's going to show you results this year. You're waiting a year and a half for it now.
And I did see a meme that, you know where this is heading towards?
What?
Aaron Rodgers.
But why? Why would this go towards Aaron Rodgers? Because if anything, they now have less weapons. He would have had DK Metcalf and George Pickens. Now he's got, Pat Freiermuth and DK Metcalf? That one doesn't make sense to attract
Aaron
Aaron Rodgers.
If they do sign Aaron Rodgers, you know who they might get for wide receivers? Alan Lazard.
Yeah.
And the other receiver. Who's the other? I can't think of the other receiver they brought in from the Jets. They played in Green Bay as well. Just some, his buddies. So you know what?
Yeah, but Devontae already went to L.A.
No, you're right.
Yeah, so if anything, he's going to bring back
Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
You know what? We can bring in Randall Cobb and Alan Lazard for you, buddy.
Well, and while you're at it, bring in Jordy Nelson. Just bring in the old crowd. Yeah, I don't know where this makes sense for Pittsburgh. I understand what you're saying. He's going to go. I just think when you go somewhere like this, There's a structure. There's a situation. I think this coach has been like, I'm not changing for anyone. I think this is a good situation for George Pickens. And he isn't the one that they're watching every play. Like when he became the main focus, it was whether he was blocking. It was whether he was doing this and whether this. It's about CeeDee Lamb. It's about Prescott. You're about third or fourth on that list.
Yep.
So Michael Parsons is more important than you. Like there's just so many more people. I think you see a whole different George Pickens. Now with that being said, am I going to pick him in fantasy? F no. But
yeah. Well, and also too, I think Dallas had to pick up somebody, whether that be a George Pickens, because right now they're still the third team. They're the third best team in their division.
Yeah.
If they don't pick him up, even the Giants might be battling with them as the third team in that division. Now I think they're clearly the third best team in the division.
Yeah, I also think it looks great on paper. Yeah. And that's what we're talking about right now. I don't know if Washington runs it back the way they did last year. They kind of got hot when it got important. Can Philadelphia do the same thing they did? Yeah. I just think for this, it looks great on paper. So now we give the fans an expectation going into the season.
Right.
I'll let you know week 6 whether this was worth it or not.
Right.
On disappointing wide receiver day, Jags released Gabe Davis after 1 year. 1 year. After signing him for a $39 million contract. Now, Gabe Davis, if you remember, played for Buffalo Bills, had this great, oh my goodness, he's a great guy, he's doing everything right. And then it just went down the shitter. And let's not act like Trevor Lawrence wasn't a good quarterback. It was Gabe Davis from day one. I mean, he just wasn't even the main wide receiver. If a rookie can stand out in your wide receiver group, then you're not doing something right. Gabe Davis, obviously, this way to get your bag. But unfortunately, now you get released on it. Now you're looking for another team. What do you think about this one?
Yeah. I mean, now it just showed what kind of he was in a system. He was with another player. He was a good number 2, but that was about it with him. I mean, that's all he was in Buffalo. And he might have been 4th or 5th on the depth chart as far as it in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I mean, he really did not show him anything there. So I mean that was it. Yeah, he got his bag. That was probably a bad signing for Jacksonville, which they've had multiple bad signings. So
and really, honestly, I would say I'm surprised the wide receiver coach has a job if he's not been fired because they've had some big contracts come through there, and all of them have left. Yep. I mean, so it has not been good there. Speaking of bags, a man, John Doe, we do not know the name yet, is filed a lawsuit against the NFL for $100 million because he was caused emotional distress for the Shedeur Sanders draft situation. What do you think about this one?
What judge in their right mind has taken on this case? I get lawyers because lawyers are just they're ambulance chasers, so I get that. You know, they're just people that looking for a payday. But what judge would even want to listen to this bullshit? Come on, what? How can this even be considered? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, I think for once we start talking about men and fans' feelings. Okay, these fans have feelings, and if I got to sit through 3 days of draft. And Shedeur doesn't get drafted. No, honestly, this is hilarious. It is so funny. I mean, you always kind of get some bullshit that kind of comes out with lawsuits, whether the coffee was hot at McDonald's or whatever. But this is now funny because, like, Shedeur's trying to go away. Like, right? Like, he's just trying to make a name for himself. Yeah. And now his name gets brought up in a lawsuit because this Colorado fan, which they've already said it was a Colorado fan, had thought he was going to get drafted in the first round and had to wait through that. And then the second, and the third, and the fourth, and finally in the fifth. Like, it was just one of these things where fans are just sometimes a little too much compared to, like, just a normal fan. And I think this is hilarious. I hope he gets something, but I'm going to tell you right now, he ain't going to get nothing. He ain't getting a dime. If anything, if NFL's smart and they'd countersue him just for bringing this bad publicity.
Well, and also, too, it's another case of a fan thinking he's part of the team.
Wait, we're not a part of the teams?
No.
Oh.
No. Ask, what was that dad that came on the court for, was that Halliburton's dad? Yeah, he thinks he's part of the team as well. No, you're not. Just stay a spectator, okay? You're the father of a good basketball player. leave it there. You don't need to be on the court.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else. You're not part of the game. You're not part of being on the team. I know
Yeah.
sometimes hey, we sucked last night. No, you didn't. Your team sucked, but you didn't suck.
I don't care what you say, old man. If I say we, I meant I was playing in that goddamn game.
Oh, you don't. You did. You don't.
Well, speaking of other football news, in college football, Cam Rising has been medically retired from football. If you remember, he was a quarterback for Utah from Texas, not the College of Texas, from actual state of Texas. It sounds like the hand, he had a second surgery on it. He looked at two doctors. Two doctors have said no. The third, he's going to go get a third opinion on it. It's sad because Utah had such high expectations last year. Cam Rising kind of goes down, and it was against Baylor, and everyone was like, okay, like he'll come back. And then he just never did. And now to hear he's not even going to play anymore, definitely sad in this whole situation. But what do you think about this one?
Yeah. And I actually had Utah winning the Big 12 this year.
Yeah.
So thinking that he was going to play. And, it just sometimes with football injuries, just like the other kid, Jordan Travis,
Yeah.
it's just time. It's time to move on. The injury is not going to cure. It's not going to heal as fast as you like.
Yeah.
And he was also an older player as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's another deal too. It's going to be hard to make it in the NFL even if it does come back. It's just, it is sad because he was probably going to be, I would say in maybe not a day one draft pick, but a day two one. Oh, most definitely. I think he could have been a backup in the NFL somewhere.
Yeah, but day twos weren't going to like late day two then. Late.
Okay.
Because even if you talk about it, like Quinn Ewers was better than him. Like, I mean, you can name, there's a lot of quarterbacks. I mean, I would even put up Riley Leonard to his status. Like that's,
oh, wow.
Yeah. But it is sad. I think also too, just kind of emphasis again of get your education and get what little money you can from the NIL and just do what you need to do. Because remember, there is people out there that paid to go to college to play football. Okay. They paid their college as well. So that is all the NFL and college football updates we have. We have to go to our favorite segment, trivia. Lisa, will you join us for a little trivia fun?
Hello.
There she is.
Are we ready to rumble?
Heck yeah.
Nope, not ready. Now we're ready. Let's go.
For Pete's
Right.
sake.
Per usual, we will have a warm-up question that you will work together to solve to get your brains ready for this trivia. And then we will have a question that you will both answer to determine who will go first. We'll have 10 questions. If player one gets it wrong, the other person will have a chance to steal. And if we are in a tiebreaker after 10 questions, I have a sudden death question that the player will use their name as their buzzer to answer first.
All right, let's get it going.
Okie dokie. Warm-up question is name that college.
Okay.
First one up, Aaron Rodgers.
Cal.
Correct. Patrick Mahomes.
Texas Tech.
Correct. Tom Brady.
Michigan.
Correct. How about Tim? Drew Brees.
Purdue.
There you go. Deshaun Watson.
Clemson.
Yes.
Yeah, Clemson.
Cam Newton.
Auburn, and then some
Auburn.
junior college before it.
Yeah,
and Florida State.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
Or
accepting
Florida,
Auburn.
Florida. Not Florida State,
Mac
Florida.
Jones.
Georgia?
Alabama.
No, Alabama.
Alabama. Zach Wilson.
BYU.
That is correct. And last one, Justin Fields.
The Ohio State University.
That's correct. Alrighty.
Boo.
The question to determine who player one will be. How many rushing yards does Saquon Barkley have so far in his NFL career? You both get a chance to answer.
I'm gonna say he's been in the league since.
You go ahead,
first.
Tim. If you got one before Anthony, go ahead.
I'm going to say 8,800 yards because I don't think he's at 10,000.
Okay.
You get it? Okay.
I think he is. I know he is. He's been in the league since 2016. 9 years. He had 2,000. I'm gonna go with 12,500.
Holy crap. You are so far off.
Hmm.
He has a total of 7,216 rushing
I
yards.
rolled.
Tim, you are
Hey,
player number 1.
Hey, you got to remember he had 1 year of injury.
Yeah.
So he didn't play every 1 year.
No,
Just giving you a heads up.
and he played for the Giants. I should have known that.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't
So
want
far
question 1. I want question 10.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, guess what? That's where you're at.
Watch what happens, old man. I've been beating your ass on this. Let's go. Let's go, Lisa. Let's go. Come on.
Let's
Don't
go.
let the old man talk shit.
Question number 1 is multiple choice. Reggie Bush had many big plays, but this video game-like stop and start on the 50-yard touchdown run against a smaller school opponent is something people still talk about. Who was the opponent? A, Fresno State, B, North Texas, C, Kent State, or D, Louisiana Tech?
Better get it right, old man. I know this one.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say A, Fresno State.
Fuck.
Final
Ding,
answer.
ding, ding!
Yes, yes.
Yes, that is correct. Okay, Anthony. Question number 2. Quarterback Baker Mayfield famously walked on at Oklahoma State after transferring from which other school? A, Colorado State, B, Arkansas, C, Texas Tech, or D, Arizona?
So he walked on after.
At Oklahoma after transferring from which school?
All right, say it again.
The question or the answers?
The question. The answers.
A, Colorado State, B, Arkansas, C, Texas Tech, or D, Arizona?
I have to say Texas Tech just because that's the one that's only realistic, but I'm going to say Texas Tech.
Ding, ding, ding!
Yeah, I had a feeling that they came from Texas, but go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, Tim. Question number 3. No multiple choice. Give me the answer.
Ooh.
Which team had to use a college stadium for home games in 2010 after their home field roof collapsed? It was in 2010.
University of Minnesota.
That is where they played. What?
Oh,
what?
the Triple H Dome or for Humphrey Dome?
No. Yes. What was the NFL team?
Oh, Minnesota Vikings.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. Good job.
That was questionable. He should have heard the NFL.
I knew that you were going to say that.
I mean, you did say NFL team, but whatever. Well, whatever.
Yes, the Metrodome had an inflatable roof ended up collapsing in 2010 after a nasty blizzard. So they had to play at University of Minnesota against Detroit.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, and another game in Detroit. But yes.
Yeah.
And then they played. Blair Walsh misses a field goal that year.
Yeah, and a playoff game.
Chip shot against Seattle.
Okay.
Next question.
Question number 4. Bill Romanowski, Michael Irvin, and Brian Bosworth starred in what football movie from 2005?
Oh, 2005. It's one of our favorite actors is in it. He's the star of it. It's Longest Yard. Final answer.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Very good. Also, Sean Salisbury was in it as well.
And Nelly. And Chris Rock.
I thought 50 Cent. Well, I thought 50 Cent was the running back.
Nelly. Don't, old man. Shut the get out of here.
Oh,
and
that's
Terry Crews.
I'm sorry.
Terry Crews
sure
with the cheeseburgers.
Sure wasn't Rocky ASAP.
Yeah, no. Jesus.
Okay, we are 2 and 2. Back to you, Tim. Question number 5. Who was the first winner of the All-Pro MVP award in 1957? And I'll give you a hint. He's on both of your Mount Rushmore running back list.
No multiple choice here, huh?
Mm-mm.
Brown.
Jim Brown. Ding, ding, ding. Very good.
Good thing you got it because I wasn't getting it.
Yeah, I thought, that just shows you that I was listening. because I
Nice.
knew he was
Nice.
on your Mount Rushmores.
If you wouldn't have given that hit, I wouldn't have known it.
Yeah.
I would have known it.
Okay, Anthony. Question number 6. Which 2 quarterbacks beat Peyton Manning and Tom Brady in the same postseason year? A. Russell Wilson and Phillip Rivers. B. Big Ben and Aaron Rodgers. C. Joe Flacco and Mark Sanchez. Or D. Jake Plummer and Tony Romo.
Well, one's from the NFC, so I don't see that one. Say the first one again.
A. Russell Wilson and Phillip Rivers.
Would the Chargers beat the Patriots? Because then that would mean that Denver went and played against Seattle and Seattle won. But that one doesn't make sense. What's the second one?
B. Big Ben and Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, B, final answer.
Over to you, Tim.
Say the question and the answers again.
Which 2 quarterbacks beat Peyton Manning and Tom Brady in the same postseason year? A. Russell Wilson and Phillip Rivers. B. Big Ben and Aaron Rodgers. C. Joe Flacco and Mark Sanchez. And D. Jake Plummer and Tony Romo.
Yeah, it's not B.
I'm gonna go with C.
Ding, ding, ding. Yes, very good.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think Sanchez beat the Patriots one year.
Yep.
Yes, that is correct. Very good. Okay, Tim, back to you. Question number 7. The nickname for Ohio State Stadium is A, the Horseshoe, B, the Star, C, the Spoon, or D, the Pit?
It's the shoe. A, final answer.
Ding, ding, ding. Yes, the Horseshoe.
What a trash ass question. Trivia master my ass.
All right, our score is 5-2. Tim is in the lead. Question number 8, over to Anthony. Running back Christian McCaffrey broke Barry Sanders' record for all-purpose yards in a season in 2015 and had 8 straight games during which he topped 200 yards. For what school did he play for?
School, so college.
Yes.
Stanford.
Ding, ding, ding. Very good.
I thought maybe you might not get that one.
No. I knew that one. He's one of the first one to sit out of a bowl game.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Yep. Damn.
Okay, 5-3. Back to Tim. Question number 9. Which one of the following players has not been an unanimous first-team All-Pro at some point in his career? A. Aaron Donald. B. Tom Brady. C. Antonio Brown. Or D. John Elway?
Ooh. This one? Okay.
I'm going to go with C, Antonio Brown.
And
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
This is why I wanted question 10, because I'm going to get question 9, tie it. Here we go. All right, so say it again. I don't know the answer. Come on, say it again.
Okay. Which one of the following players has not been a unanimous first-team All-Pro at some point in his career? A. Aaron Donald. B. Tom Brady. C. Antonio Brown. Or D. John Elway?
So, like, the obvious answer you would think is John Elway now that Antonio Brown's out. But Aaron Donald definitely has had to been unanimous. Like, just so... But is it like Tom Brady in this situation? Because, like, I just, like, unanimous.
Mm-hmm.
Is he unanimous?
Has not been.
Yes. Yeah, he's not been a unanimous. And I feel like it's him for some reason because I feel like John Elway's got to have one of those years. And so I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I'm going to say Tom Brady final answer.
Oh.
It's John Elway, isn't it?
It is. The answer
It is.
D,
Wow. I
John
would
Elway.
thought maybe Aaron Donald, but
No, I know.
one of them years.
Leave it to Anthony to not listen to his gut.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, our
Go
score
ahead.
is 5-3.
Lisa, just give this last question. and just see if he can get it. I don't know. It really doesn't
Are you
matter.
open this old man? Here we go. 5-4 right now for the final question. Let's see what he gets. Come on.
I'm sorry, sir. It is 5-3.
But
Yeah,
he said he's
5-3.
giving it to me. He's giving it to
No,
me. We're going 5.
you can give it to him all you like. I don't.
Yeah, here we go. Let's go 5-5. Here we go.
Question number 10, Anthony. Which team has the longest current playoff drought? A, the Browns, B, the Cardinals, C, the Jets, or D, the Dolphins?
If you don't get this one, I will probably come through the screen and kick you right in the ass.
Honestly, I don't know why I'm kind of sitting here. Say it again.
Which team has the longest current playoff drought? A, the Browns, B, the Cardinals, C, the Jets, or D, the Dolphins?
I mean, did Baker take the Browns? Like, I feel like Baker took them to the playoffs, and it was like the one. And then Cardinals have definitely been in it, and the Dolphins have been in the playoffs, right? So
Sure.
what's the other team?
The Jets.
The Jets were in it. We just talked about them. I'm gonna go Cleveland Browns. Final answer.
Wrong.
And
Lisa, let me explain to you the.
Quick,
I don't know
we
if
got
you-
all
if you-
day, old man. Let's go.
It's the Jets.
ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, they've got the longest. I think they have been in the playoffs in almost 15 years.
Last
So.
seen 2010.
Yeah, so Baker took the
15 years.
Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland went not with him.
In 2020.
I was thinking, didn't Joe Flacco take him a couple years ago? Because they played Houston and got blown out.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
That was 2 years ago.
All right, so what's the overall score for this one?
Tim won this game 6-3, which
All right.
leaves your all total trivia.
What's the head-to-head score, Lisa? I like to know what the head-to-head score is right now. Do you have that on you?
5.
Yeah,
Anthony
shut the
has
fuck up
5.
and you'll hear her.
Tim has 4.
Yeah.
Oh, he has 5?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it should be 4-4. I think there might be a question mark. I don't know, but the league is still hearing my appeal on that one that we had that I think it should have been. But the league is still, I'm still hearing about my appeal.
Yeah.
I think you both need to take a step back and not question the trivia master.
Well, we want to thank you so much, Lisa, for joining. We have to move on. We have other news to talk about. Thank you, Lisa. We have the NHL playoff updates from your correspondent, Anthony Cook. We have Utah Hockey reveals a logo as the Mammoth. That's outside of the playoffs. I'm kind of disappointed it's not Soakers, being in Utah, Mormon and everything like that. But Mammals is kind of a cool one. It's a little different. Kraken was kind of really cool. So, coming from Kraken to Mammoth. Otherwise, who's actually playing right now? Tuesday night, Carolina had 33 shots on goal to take Game 1 versus Washington in overtime. Edmonton beats the Golden Knights to take Game 1. On Wednesday night last night, the Maple Leafs take Game 2 against the Panthers, which is very surprising, taking a 2-0 lead. Dallas outlasted the Jets to take Game 1. I bet the over. It was 5.5. They scored 5 goals. You just can't catch a break. Tonight, you will have Capitals are looking to bounce back against the Hurricanes. Golden Knights are also looking to bounce back against the Oilers, as right now it's a lot of only been one game played so far, but Maple Leafs have taken a 2-game lead. That one surprised me. I'm going to make this as a hot take. I do not believe any of these series will go to Game 7.
Wow.
I think there is going to be dominance on one of the teams or the other. And why I just feel that, not because I'm a fan or not because I know hockey, because if the Maple Leafs could take 2 games on Florida when their backup goalie is in the second game, I feel like just the world ain't circling the way it used to be. Something's different. So I just think some of these teams are just going to pull away. They're going to take a 2-0, maybe go 2-1, 3-1, end it on that one. I don't see any Game 7s out of this series.
As you say that, I think the Toronto and Florida is going to go 7. That's the one series I do. Because why I say that is because Florida, they're the defending champs. They're the defending Stanley Cup champions. They're not going anywhere. They have great goaltending. I think they'll get their goaltending straightened around. I think their defense will play better. I watched a little bit of it last night, kind of going back and forth with the basketball game.
Yeah.
It just seemed like they were dominant early, and then Toronto scored at 1-1, and it was just like, uh-oh. But it just seemed like maybe Toronto's just gonna. It looks like they could choke it off.
Yeah, I don't know though. I mean, you would think that's the game to do it, right? Because you have a backup goalie in there.
Right.
He doesn't even have his feet wet yet. I mean,
Right.
and that's where I just thought that was the game that Florida would come back, and they looked good. And then just, I don't know if it's the Chuck problem or what's happening, but like it's just they're not in sync. They're making a lot of dumb mistakes. The other series too that very questionable in game one was the Carolina. Carolina had 33 shots on goals. 30. I mean, they were just throwing anything at and that's what won them. That's what won that overtime goal, is that just throwing it at the goalie. Well, I definitely you could see a bounce back tonight with the Capitals. That was the only one that I could see possibly going 7 games. Hurricanes are just scrappy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that is our hockey updates. Let's go to our other correspondent for the NBA playoff updates.
We're gonna start out with Cleveland and Indiana. Indiana's up 2-0. Cleveland took game one, or Indiana took game one. Indiana comes back down by as much as 20. Seems like that is the going rate right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of these playoff games, teams get down 20, and they seem like they just let them keep playing. And that's what Cleveland did. Indiana was down 20. I mean, and then it seemed like here they come. Here comes Indiana. Here comes Indiana. And at halftime, they were only down less than double digits.
Yeah.
Indiana was. So they just couldn't put them away. So, I mean, that's the deal. And Halliburton burns their ass again with a 3-pointer at the end. Hell of a shot. I mean, he step backs and hits that 3. Hell of a shot. So they're up 2-0. I can see that going 7. But, I mean, even Mitchell had a hell of a game, game 2, and they still couldn't get him. So I don't know. I can see Cleveland kind of rebounded into Indiana. The Knicks and Boston. Who thought this one?
Yeah. Boston
is down 2-0. Tatum, he's nowhere to be found in the fourth quarter in these first 2 games.
Yep.
Down 20, the Knicks are. You just when you watch a playoff season, we have no kick to the can on these games. None of our favorite teams are playing.
Yeah.
But you just can see, and it's destiny. You just see where a team gets down and they can just keep fighting back. And I think the Mikal Bridges pickup they picked up at the offseason is a hell of a pickup. They picked up Cat. Cat's starting to play really good. It just seems like and I watched that last night, and it just seemed like they were. I thought for sure they were going to blow them out. I mean, even the first half, they just kept fighting, and then they make a hell of a defensive play at the end of the game on Tatum. Tatum is a ghost man. I think he has 13 points in the fourth quarter in 2 games.
Yeah.
That's not good. And he was 0 for 7 in three-point land. I think he was 1 for 9 in the first game. So that's 1 for 6. He's disappearing. What the hell's going on? I think maybe somebody's hurt. Jaylen Brown's hurt. Bazinga is not. I think he's hurt, and that hurts them because they can't move the ball in and out. So, I mean, that series is 2-0 Knicks going home. Celtics still have fight in them. So I don't see that that's going to be extended. I can see the Boston at least getting one of the 2 at the Mecca. We got Denver and OKC. Denver win the first one, and then OKC said, okay, this is how we're going to play the game. We'll show you. And they blew them out by almost 40 They did, by 40. That's the deal. And Joker at the end of the game, or at the press conference, says, apparently you could see only one team was ready to play tonight because they just got smacked around. He ended up fouling out in the third quarter of the game. And they get 6 fouls in the NBA. Last I knew. So, I mean, it was just they weren't ready to play. And OKC with SGA, that's going to be another tough series. And then tonight we got Minnesota and Golden State. Golden State won the first one, which all 4 games all 4 games, the road team has won. So that kind of, if you're a betting person, you might want to think about it. But the big injury for Golden State is Curry with the hamstring. Yeah. I don't know. He's up in age. You know who needs to circle the wagons? Jimmy Buckets. Hey, Jimmy, they picked you up for a reason. It's time for your time to shine. go get it. Because if you don't, and because Curry, I think, is going to play. He's just not
He's
going to
out
be
for a
100%.
week. He's out for
Oh,
a week.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is, if I was a Warriors fan, I'd be a little bit nervous. Like I say, Jimmy Buckets, and then you got the Minnesota coach calling out Ant Edwards, say, he needs to play better. He played like garbage, so he's got. And I'm like, calm down. It's one game. It's game one. Don't if that's your incentive to try to get him to play better for tonight. Let's see if that works out, because I think Ant is his own person.
Yeah.
I think he plays. He doesn't play when he wants to play, but he don't need any extra motivation. He'll motivate himself.
Yeah.
So I don't think that. So that should be an interesting tonight.
Yeah, I think there's only one series that could possibly go Game 7 on this as well in this, and I think it is Boston and the Knicks. I don't think Cleveland goes to 7 because Cleveland needs to get back from injuries to even have a fight. I mean, no way
true.
Mitchell throws out there 48 points and you guys can't win a game?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. And let's be honest, Mobley would have got half those rebounds at the end of the game that would have solved that. I don't know.
And also Garland's hurt too. I think he's got a bad toe, so he's not playing at all. I think that's really hurting Cleveland right now.
Yeah. No, it is. And honestly, these series, with us recording this on Thursday, posting this on Friday, we'll definitely be back on Tuesday. And I think some of these series are going to be over. I mean, by the math, it might be 3-0, 3-1 for some of them. Right. But, I think I've been disappointed. I hope hockey steps it up. I hope basketball steps it up. I think OKC coming back out and giving some fight yesterday. But then maybe I just don't understand basketball. But, when I see a team get blown out by 40, I'm like, they're done. They're just done. But then at the same time, it's like they'll come back and have a different game. I mean, I just – it's so quick how teams can rebound. Literally, metaphorically, can rebound and play.
I mean, look at the Knicks. They're down 20 in both games on the road. And on top of that, this team was 0-4 and getting blown out in the regular season by Boston. And to go into Boston and be down 20 in 2 games and come back and beat them in dramatic fashion, you just got that feeling that, you never – I mean, I'm not predicting that the Knicks will win it all. But I'll tell you what, they're going to give Boston all this one's going to go 7. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to go 7 just because of Boston. I will say I'm a little nervous because the 2 teams I picked to win out of the NHL and NBA are down 0-2. So not great. Florida Panthers down 0-2 and now the Boston Celtics. But that is episode 99. We will be back on Tuesday for episode 100. Where we will have a Mount Rushmore, have a little fun with it, kind of bring back some childhood sports memorabilia things. We will be back on Tuesday, so we want to thank all our fans. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the basketball. Enjoy the hockey. But don't have too much fun because you got to be back for episode 100. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Tuesday.